We're live.
Boys, girls, all my traumaholics and all of his lighted nights out there, welcome back to Otherobert. I'm the other, he is the Robert. We are Otherobert.
Yes, we are.
Oh, and we're reviewing The Walking Dead, The Next World. What do you think,
6.
Rob?
I liked it. Season 6 is so far just keep me entertained and impressed. I very much enjoyed this episode. Not as much as I did last week, but I'm still enjoying it. This is standard Walking Dead, I would say, and that's why I like it.
A little bit of an awkward kind of starting point. We start with a 2-month time jump, which is what looking back, it feels like last week probably should have been the finale, and this probably should have been the premiere in the sense of the time jump and how last week happened.
Yeah, that was weird, but whatever.
But it was a good episode. We met Jesus finally. He's been anticipated for a while, and that was actually kind of the reason why people knew that Glenn was still alive back in the winter, was because photos had leaked of Jesus and Glenn on set together. Speaking of Glenn, we didn't see Glenn or Carol or Morgan. There were a lot of characters who we didn't see this episode, even though we're in Alexandria and then bringing Daryl leave. What do you think?
Well, you know how a lot of the seasons have gone with The Walking Dead, how you get episodes where you just kind of have your standard groups as opposed to your whole wide cast. You get your full cast in like the main battle episodes, the season premieres, season finales, and whatnot. So I kind of expected to not see everyone, and we got to develop more so the other characters such as Michonne, Rick, Daryl, and they get to just get their scenes in the spotlight today.
Yeah, and the episode starts off with Michonne and Rick, and
ends with Michonne and Rick. There's no there are total spoilers here, so just be warned before you watch the end of the episode.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Yeah, they're an item.
It works so well. The two of them.
Really think of how much female interaction he has in his life, and it's really been Michonne and Carol and Maggie, because Maggie's taken.
Well, it's not only a process of elimination, but since Michonne got introduced to the show, the two of them have been perfect for each other. I mean, you look back at the first real bonding moment they've had with I See Dead People, So Do I. And just from there, that connection just started. And, they've been through all of this together, not to the extent that him and Carol have been, but he's been through most of it with Michonne, and the two of them have bonded in certain ways that he hasn't with any other character. So it really makes so much sense for the two of them to be together.
Yeah, it does. Makes a lot of sense. I actually agree with that. I was still shocked when I saw it, but I wasn't disappointed or I disapproved of the relationship. I just was shocked, but I liked it. It was a Rick episode, if you think about it, because it was Rick with Michonne and Rick with Daryl the whole time, which was fun to see him interact with everyone, and then also Rick with Jesus.
I'm glad that Rick's not finally. I want to make sure I word this properly. Lori and Jesse were both kind of depicted as annoying, weaker characters, whereas Michonne is a very she's a lot of people's favorites. She's a very strong character, very strong, and she's a perfect fit to go along with Rick in that sense too. That he will have a strong, a lover who's strong, very much like him, and someone who can hold her own. And it makes you happy for the character, and you see it in Rick's character in this episode. He's just so happy. Even when everything's kind of going on, he's got this positivity about him, which is just reassuring for Rick.
Yeah, he's in a different mindset or a different mood. Even like when he lost the supplies of the truck, like he's not freaking out over it and instantly wanting to kill Jesus. Like, he's okay. It's interesting how his personality does really peak and valley.
Right. Speaking of Jesus, interesting character. I know a lot of people are looking forward to him, and I think a lot is to come with him. What do you think of Jesus?
I know nothing about Jesus. Um, so I don't know really what to say about him. I kind of thought he was annoying, in all honesty. You seem to know a bit more about him than I do. So what's his deal?
Well, we'll see. Coming up, we will see how they approach him. So far, all we know is all I got from this episode. He's very charismatic. I loved the actor, and I loved what they wrote for him in this episode because he was very, very fun. I thought.
Well, I laughed at everything he said. I thought he was funny. I just don't understand him.
And not only for me, it wasn't even a funny thing. I didn't really laugh at anything he did. He was just very charismatic.
The second he turned around and said he's Jesus, I laughed. Watched around and went, "Oh Jesus!"
I like him though. Very charismatic. When he's on screen, you kind of you're paying attention. He's very charismatic.
Yep.
So it was a good trait to have in the character. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from Jesus.
I think the only other part of the episode was Carl and his non-killing of Deanna and leaving it up for Deanna's son to kill her.
Right, and which was a great moment for Spencer. Spencer's a character that I think a lot of people really haven't been able to connect with, but that was a good moment.
Yeah, well, as annoying as Carl is, his idea of having the people who are alive to get rid of the Walker version of their family members is a nice idea.
Yeah, and then it being the whole "I do it for you" thing. It's a sweet moment, but Carl, at least to me, came off not darker, but just a little bit more disconnected in this episode.
He's traumatized. His eye was shot out. He has PTSD.
Yeah, very disconnected. So
yes,
we'll see.
He went through a traumatic event, so he's distancing himself. He's distancing himself. Everyone, I see. I get it.
We will see where it goes with Carl going forward and Jesus and all these other characters.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the end of the episode, you think Jesus is going to be in confines, and then all of a sudden at the end of it, you see him hanging over Rick and Michonne, or standing over Rick and Michonne, and you're like, oh.
As they're both naked. Right.
As they're both naked. Yes, you see Andrew Lincoln naked.
Right. So we'll see where all this goes next week. It was a pretty good. It wasn't really a filler episode. It was kind of just the kind of introduction to what's to come. This kind of felt like when we met Aaron for the first time, and kind of that initial encounter to what's going to be a big storyline coming up.
I don't think there's truly any intense filler episodes. I felt this one was just to jump you into the next storyline. Like, they just can't just bring Jesus in randomly. They have to find ways to do it. So
right.
So it was an ease into what's going to be happening.
Right, and it was done in a very effective way, and I'm looking forward to what's to come. Good episode. Let's get to the next one.
Yes.
So that's it for this week's episode of the Walking Dead review. Subscribe because it takes around that much effort to do so.
What is that?
And until next time, I'm Joe. You've been traumatized. Take us on out, Rob.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm Robert. Make sure to subscribe. As he said, it takes that much effort to do so. All of our social media links are in the description down below.
That much.
Don't do that again. We're done. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.